Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to KAZ Radio TV. It is your girl, Angela, with another episode of No More Triggers. Today is the day we hear Gina Vaughn's story. But before we hear the story, check out the shirt. You know I'm goofy. It's not finished though, but whatever. But yeah, this is my DJC shirt. When I start selling them, I'll let everybody know. Now, before we get started, Miss Gina Vaughn, I have a couple of shout outs. First, I want to give y'all that information that I said I was going to give you guys last week about the braiding salon that I went to. So it's called Model Braids, and the address is 10740 Lorraine Avenue. It's inside of the West Town Plaza, and his name is Mr. Walker. His telephone number is 216-385-1699, and he is looking for braiders with 5 years and plus experience. He has 4 chairs available, and he's also looking for nail techs. He has 2 chairs available. He didn't say how many years for nail techs, but I'm assuming that you have to at least have a couple years experience for this place. So again, he's looking for braiders, nail techs, and his number is 216-385-1699. His name is Mr. Walker. Model Braids at 10740 Lorraine Avenue, inside of the West Town Plaza. For some reason, I always want to say Westgate Plaza. I think that's because that's the one that I know and I'm used to. And another shout out goes to, of course, Siobhan for doing my braids. Now, I know y'all gonna say, how you gonna shout out a braid salon and not get your hair braided there? But I sticks with the same people. Not saying that I won't never go there, but I'm comfortable with who braids my hair. So shout out to Siobhan for braiding my hair. All right, so as always, if you guys want to be a guest, if you have any questions about something you've seen on a podcast or a domestic violence question, any type of abuse question, if you want to make a donation, if you want to advertise your business, please go to my website to inquire about any of those. You go to www.aclproductions.org. That's www.aclproductions.org with the S. You can also go to my Facebook, ACL Productions, or if you know me personally, you know you have priority my friend on Facebook. If you want to be a guest or anything, just inbox me with my name, Angela Lay. You can also email me at ACL Production, no S, ACL Production 2016 at yahoo.com. Now, I have been getting a couple of questions here and there, and because this is Gina's story, I'm not going to answer too many of the questions. I got a couple. I didn't get that many, but I got a couple. But I am going to answer one of the questions, and this is just speaking from my opinion. The question was from Ashandra D. And the question was, where do you think abuse stemmed from? And I can't really answer the question because I don't know where the abuse stemmed from. Me personally, I don't see how people can go and do the type of things that they do. You never know what's going on through people's head. It could have stemmed from when they was younger. Maybe he's seen it being done and thought this is how he's supposed to treat women. Maybe something triggered in his head. Some was just probably raised like that. I don't know. That is a good question, and I think that's for basically individual answer. So that's all I can say about that. I don't know. What do you think, Gina? Do you Can you answer the question? Like, where do you think abuse stems from?
Actually, I believe it comes from your background, wherever your background is.
So you feel like if as a child you lived a mostly a violent life, or you basically seen it happening a lot,
You've probably seen it happen.
Yeah. Or it could have happened, to the guy, and maybe like, okay, what happened to me, so I'm gonna do it to somebody else.
I know in my case, his father did the same thing to his mom.
So in Gina's case, he actually seen the abuse when he was a kid. In my case, I don't know too much about it because I didn't really get deep into it, but I do know that there were domestic violence situations between his father and his mother. So it could basically just stem from, how you were raised, or, the person's background and things like that. That's, so that answered that question. That's all I can really say on that topic. So without further ado, I'm going to let Miss Gina Bina take the mic. And she's going to tell her story. So y'all listen up.
Okay. I'm going to try to tell it the best way I can.
Okay.
This is what I can recall. How did we kind of meet, I guess you can say? Mm-hmm. Well, we were children and living in the similar neighborhood, and then he will see me walk into school or something, or he saw me come into an office, and then he just had like a little instant boy crush on me. And so like he caught up with me by the time he got in high school, because I was like a senior and he was I think it was like a junior. Not sure. He was 2 years younger, but he finally caught up and finally got a chance like to, flirt with me. So, and I kind of took on the flirt, and then, obviously we had like a relationship somehow. And then I went to basic training. And then when I came back from basic training, the relationship just kind of ended.
So, quick question. So you knew him basically when you were growing up?
I didn't know him. He knew who I was.
So so you basically wasn't paying him no attention, but he knew who you were.
Exactly.
Okay.
The only reason I know
so at that time, did he seem like he was a little boy that was like bothered, or would turn out to be, or do what he did to you?
Let me just tell you, this is the strange part. I was not even aware that he even existed. This guy is like crushing on me and trying to find me, and I'm not thinking about him at all.
Wow.
Of course, like when you meet the person, you start thinking, "Oh, this is love. Oh my gosh, he loves me." You start getting all really happy about it and stuff. But it's in some ways kind of creepy.
That was kind of creepy. You saying how he was just trying to find you anywhere you was at.
He has more memories of me than I have of those
him.
times. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, so you really was his little crush.
Yeah.
All right. So you said after the basic training is when y'all broke up?
Yeah, doing basic training. All these people were getting all these letters and having phone calls, and I couldn't get any of those things. None. Not from him especially. I have more conversations with my mom than anything.
And this was after you got into a relationship, after you said, fine, I'll stop ignoring you.
Yeah.
We can go out. And after all of that, after he finally got what he been wanting for a long time, he don't even write you, call you. Nothing. Did he know that he could? Did he have like your address? Did he have the resources and means to do it?
Well, I was just going to say that I sent him letters and postcards, and I called. So
and nothing back in return.
Nothing, not that many. If it did happen, it wasn't too many. So
okay,
it wasn't. My giving didn't come back to me.
Right. So when you went back home, you said that's when you broke it off.
That was it.
Okay, so continue from there.
Okay, years go by. I think I was like 22, 23 years old. I'm at a club, just being myself. I'd be honest, I was having a great time. There were some guys there. So he's like, hey, how you doing? I was like, okay. And then the conversation starts again. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then at this time, I was like, you know what? I kind of like this guy. And I'm not going to let this one go because he's the one. And all this, getting all happy about this person and stuff. Mm-hmm. I didn't know any better. But, yeah.
Of course, like we all do it.
So we did that. And then at the beginning of our relationship, it was a lot of arguing.
Okay.
And he was trying to pick my friends. Like, he was telling me not to go to my friend's house because they were doing certain things to me that I'm thinking to myself, what are he talking about?
Yeah.
And that was the argument with him and my other friend. Kid.
So off top, like as soon as we all got back together, he just started being controlling off the bat. Yeah. You can't do this. You can't do that.
Right.
Huh.
Like, he was like, he was like pointing out this person went with that person. He's doing this to you. She's doing that to you. Mm-hmm. She's not a good friend. You're having a little shouting fest. And then when you start going on dates, it was a lot of, say you're at a restaurant and I look in the corner of my eye and it just want to be a guy in that corner. Well, he'll say, you're flirting with that guy. The date would end really fast because, of course, I argued back, and then we're fighting on the way to the car. Not fighting like physically, but arguing.
So I would say he will do it in public. He won't wait until he gets home and then he will just start arguing with you in public.
Well, he'll voice his opinion. I mean, he won't be yelling in public, but he'll voice his opinion.
Not too much to cause attention, but he'll basically say, okay, so y'all coming back from y'all date, y'all get in the car, do it escalate more, like do his tone change, I
can't recall everything. I just remember it was a lot of tension. Mm-hmm. And I know by the time you get home, you're not happy with each other.
Right. Going in separate corners and.
Well, he go home. I go home.
Okay.
So I lived at my parents' house. He lived at his parents' house. So it was just, it is what it is.
Okay.
What else happened? We had times when he would tell me not to wear certain things. I was told not to go to clubs. I was told to pretty much be less sexy, Mm-hmm. Right. But I mean, I wasn't wearing sweats like, what you said. I was just, I was trying to tone it down a little bit and change my crowd a bit just for him.
Yeah. Okay. So for those who have not watched the other episode of Gina, I was expressing how in my situation, he basically was changed how I was dressing and things like that. I was always dressing cute. And it came to a part where he was so jealous and insecure to the fact where I had to down dress myself because for him not to feel, some type of way. Right. So that's another thing that I really feel with you. So I really can relate to that.
Here's the more interesting parts here. I was in a service, of course, and then, of course, he thought that I was going to go out and flirt with all the guys out there, right? And I remember there were, I went overseas. I mean, I know, before I went overseas, we were I don't know, I forgot what they called it. It was before deployment, and you know how people are it's like the whole unit, hey, we're going to go to this club or that club. Mm-hmm. We had, so many arguments over how he thought I was going out with these people, and he would be and it was I would just stay at my bed instead of going out, and people thought that I was trying to think I was better than them or so. I never really went out to the social events as much because I was trying to please them, which sucked, Oh
yeah, I know. Believe you, I know.
That was the part. But then I came home from the Iraq, No, no, Kuwait. I went home. I went to Kuwait and I came back home and he was still there. And of course, my mind thinking, oh, he loves me. He's sticking around, right?
So so after you moved from your mom's house, y'all was staying together?
Well, years after that, that's when I moved out of my parents' house.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure and paint the picture because last time you said you were still staying at your mom's house. Okay. So now this is years later. Now y'all done moved in. You done went.
Exactly.
Or you were just staying with him or he was just staying with you?
How this happened, I moved. We were supposed to move out together. He didn't commit, so I moved out on my own. And then he finally moved himself into my place without my permission.
Gotcha.
While I was doing some military duty.
Okay. So
and then
he
never left.
Away when he was moving in.
Yeah.
Ah, a little sneaky little son of a gun.
No, it didn't never left. And I'm thinking, when are you leaving?
Okay.
It never left. He just stayed. So we stayed together for about, I believe about 7 years or so. But like during that time, everything was okay. I mean, then I got pregnant, and then after getting pregnant, and you start seeing things being a little different about him. Like I wasn't getting the support that I thought I should get.
Right.
While doing my pregnancy, etc. And so like after that, when the baby came, then he was competing for attention, and you know how
which I don't understand how you can compete for attention with your own child. Like that doesn't make any sense, but that does happen.
Yes, literally competing. Like, I'm sick. I'm in the hospital. Something wrong with me, and I was supposed to be healing, from the baby birth. So I was supposed to, do less work and hope, take care of the baby. And I believe I'm correct. I ended up going to his family's house because there was some crazy stuff going on in the house at the time. So I ended up being there for like, I don't know, about a week or so. So they
at his family house?
Yeah, they were taking care of me to make sure I was okay because it was just a negative environment for me for a moment. But after that, that's when the physical things happen. So like we had, again, I was just going to say that we had good times. So, movies and dates and, in love.
Yeah. And
I was completely in love. It's just after the baby, my love kind of went down a little bit. And he didn't like that too much because, I was giving my attention to the baby. And, so we had I think I had my big first fight after, I think when my son was like 9 months.
Okay.
Yeah. All I remember, he came down the hallway. I don't remember what we were fighting about. And then I remember I'm fighting this guy off of me, like in my bedroom. And my son's just sitting on the bed. And it was so like that happened, and then I kind of tried to put him out, but then somehow you let him back in again. Don't know why, but I did.
We never know why, really. We never know why. We were like, why didn't I just kick that fool out the first time? But I feel like it's something on the back of your head, like I'm still want to give this a chance. Like he should be able to change. I want to give it a chance. It's something in the back of your head that let him back in.
Well, besides that, I always thought about my parents because my parents were together for so many years. Yep. And you learn that, people have problems and you just get past them. So I was thinking, okay, we're going to get past these issues and then we're going to get better. Right. Well, years later, it didn't get better. And not only that, it was a lot of alcoholism on his part. And, we had those episodes here and there. And it got to the point when it started coming more frequently. And I was just kind of like sitting in the car, just waiting, like, okay, he's not happy today. So I'm not going to go in the house right away because we don't know what's going to happen. Right. Yeah. Right. It was crazy.
Yeah. So I remember you telling us about just your final straw, how you snapped back into reality and was like, I got to get away from you. I got to go. But what people don't understand is when you have a child by that person that you're getting abused by and you don't have people in your corner, the right resources and things like that, you still have to deal with that person.
That's the hard part.
You still have to deal with that person. And that is the hard part, for a very long time. like me and my son's father are just starting to get on the same page, but I still, don't look too far past him because he will, switch up real quick, you
Right.
know. And I didn't get to, call you and tell you, but I thought it was about to be another switch up.
Oh.
I was like, it's about that. But I think he was playing it off, and I don't think he wanted to show that he had an attitude. But his wording towards me didn't get smart mouthed or anything like that. But I know he was kind of, upset because him and his family don't like the word no. You can't tell them no. You tell them no. Oh, it's the end of the world. They have a conniption. It's, how dare you tell me no?
Right.
But then y'all can tell me no anytime I ask any little thing, it's always no, 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 no. But I tell you no one time, and it's, how dare you? It's like, now I'm getting him on, and I get double teamed every single time. It's him in one corner, his mama in the other corner. She's throwing her little shots. He throwing his shots. I'm like, I'm getting double teamed here. I have nobody to help me. I was taught to respect my elders, so I don't want to be like, go in on her. But at the same time, it's like, can you let me and him have our conversation without, we need to fix this. Mm-hmm. But, what I'm getting, if I say something wrong to her, then of course it's going to trigger him to go off. Because, now you're talking to my mama, you disrespecting my. No, I'm not. But your mom is disrespecting me, and I'm not going to keep taking it.
About mothers.
I was going to say, that was my next question. So how?
Should have been my clue.
You said it should have been what?
Should have been my clue. That should have been the clue. That was something wrong.
With his mom.
No, see, it's nothing wrong with her.
Okay.
It was the way he was treating her.
Ah, yes. And we don't look at those clues, we don't. Because now that you say that, I was trying to remember that he was kind of like he'll talk smart to her too.
Yeah.
It was whatever. I catch my son trying to do it sometimes. I was like, you better go on with that devil work.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you better go home with them words. I'm your mama. You don't talk
Right.
to me like that.
Like, it's still today, she rather come to me for help than him. I have a really good, a responsible, I don't know, I help her out often. We have a good relationship, and I could talk to her whenever I can.
I was gonna say, so when she's been a big help with you in your situation.
She talks to me.
So when you went to go live with her, did she say, like, I think you shouldn't be in a relationship with my son? Did she encourage you to stay with him? Like, what was her words at that time when you guys were together?
She just kept warning me he's a little crazy or so here and there. And then she'll say, you're going to be okay. He's not going to do X, Y, Z.
Okay.
And then you're kind of like, okay, I'm going to feel better. So,
okay.
Like, when things happen, she was one of the people I would go to and say, hey, he did this.
Yeah. Yeah. Someone that you can confide in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the here and now, how often do you have to deal, just for the people can know, how often do you have to deal with him? Rather it's him calling you, you having to go and meet up with him. How often do he still to this day give you a problem?
Oh my God, like last week was a problem. It's pretty frequent. I was trying to make it as short, I just wanted to be on every other weekend or so, and just like only communicate about, transportation. Mm-hmm. But it's never just about transportation. It's always, it got to the point he was trying to control my home, sort of, or tell me I can't do certain things with
your son.
My son here and there.
That's how it be. Once you leave, it's like, oh, now how can I get to her? Got it through the kids, because it will happen to me too. So I totally feel you. So I know you've been going to a group. Now, can you just tell us, with your triggers, how I cope if it's something that's right there in the moment? I try to, count to 10, take deep breaths. But I like to meditate. I like to have my peaceful moment where I'm just there and it's peaceful. With you going to that group, are they showing you different ways to try to cope? Do you try to figure out how to cope with your triggers?
Yeah, I mean, you learn. Okay, one time we were learning about things that make you pleasurable, like little fidget items or things that make pleasure. So we were giving out all kinds of ideas about things like that. And then, and like I was telling you about mindfulness, kind of puts you in a calm place, and you start accepting things as they are, and you meditate a little bit for a moment, for like 3 minutes or so.
Okay.
Then we have like a chaplain. She kind of she like today she was talking to us about feeling ashamed and feeling I can't remember the other word, but learning, how do you feel when you feel ashamed or feeling guilty? You have different subjects that'll help you along the way. And then we had a finance discussion. You have like different topics that they present to us. And I think yesterday we were talking about the Bill of Rights in a relationship.
Okay.
Which
All
is
right.
really interesting.
Okay. And you felt you learned a lot?
Well, I was saying a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
I did a lot of input that day because I actually had a lot to say.
Okay. All right. All right. So since you've been in that program, do you feel it's been helping you?
It helps when I'm with the group therapy more than when I'm with her one-on-one. Like when I'm with my therapist one-on-one, I feel like I'm not alone, or I don't feel like I'm a little crazy, because sometimes him or the whole situation will make me feel like, well, maybe you're losing your mind. Maybe, maybe there's something wrong with me. But then she'll remind me like, no, this is true. You're really going through this. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not crazy.
Right. Because that's what we tend to do. We tend to start questioning ourselves, start questioning our logic. And we'll be like, dang, am I doing something wrong? Am I this, and that? Because it's like they got to move on easily. I'm still out here.
Right.
So it makes you think, like, is there something wrong with me? But it's not.
And she gives me resources. Like, she's telling me to go to get an advocate so that they can speak up for me, because I'm really having a hard time speaking out about some things that are going on between me and him. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to start, going into that. Maybe get like a...
Because he had no problem saying what's on his mind.
Right.
And I feel like, because I really understand what you mean. It's like a somewhat intimidation.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's like when you see that name pop up on the screen, it's like, oh my God. Like, I don't know. It's like it's a feeling.
Right.
That you get. And I understand that feeling that you're talking about. But it's like, he can't do anything, but it's like.
What he did was like, let me tell you about last week. Last week, he tried to use calling the cops as a way to intimidate me, because I didn't want to do what he wanted me to do. And for a well check. I mean, but I decided to get myself educated on it. I called the police myself and asked questions, and he didn't like that. And so after I did that, he said, well, I'm going to get child services on you. And I said, well, they're going to find out that I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do for my child.
Exactly, which you are. All right. So, Gina Bina, I want to give you this for being on the show. It's just a No More Triggers t-shirt. And on the back, it just have, thanks for being a guest, Gina Wong.
Well, it has my name on it.
With my website. So I really want to thank you for being a guest. Maybe we can get you back on here another day and talk some more. It was wonderful. And you guys don't forget to tune in not next Wednesday, the Wednesday after that, for another episode of No More Triggers. And don't forget, learn how to control the triggers. Don't let the triggers control you. Have a good day.